Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Ash on Comics. My name is Ash, and this is a comic. Today I'm going to be reviewing Batman Detective Comics issue 983, written by Bryan Hill and illustrated by, I can't pronounce that name and I'm going to butcher it, Mendonça. I apologize for totally butchering that. I don't know the proper pronunciation. Anyways, to the point of this issue, I picked this up. I'm not currently collecting Detective Comics. I don't like the direction of Detective Comics being a team book. I want a Batman book, and I don't like the idea of Batman being... I don't like the Bat family. I think it's just idiotic. But this book I'm picking up because of Bryan Hill. And if you don't know who Bryan Hill is, join the club. I didn't know who Bryan Hill was. But he is a comics pro that conducts himself extraordinarily well with the fans on Twitter, and I'm assuming anywhere else that you might find him. And in a day and age right now where comics pros are just becoming known for their contempt for fans, looking down on fans and the medium, and just overall being a stain on the industry, Bryan Hill is a flower among the ashes. He is so refreshing to talk to. And he's actually very entertaining on Twitter, which shouldn't be surprising. The guy's a writer, so it shouldn't surprise me that he has interesting things to say on a forum like Twitter. But I've grown to really respect the guy. And I think it's important for pros, any creators that have, anyone that has a fan base, if you're in some sort of industry or you know, anything that has fans, you know, you need to understand that fan celebrity, for lack of a better term, relationship. In the comics industry right now, we have this problem where so many pros just don't get it. They think that the fans exist for them, that this is their world, that they just write and we're privileged enough to read their work. And that's not how it works. You create, and if you're good and talented, fans will admire your work, and they will become patrons of a sort by buying your work, which supplies you with an income. You become a professional artist, not a starving artist. Bryan Hill gets this. When I listen to his tweets, it's interesting. He'll talk about back in his days where he would stock vegetables, you know, on the graveyard shift at grocery stores, I presume. This is a guy who's worked hard, and he understands that this is not a privilege, but maybe and so forth, a privilege to work in a job like this and to have fans that write to you and sing your praises. That is not something that is just deserved. You have to earn it. And once you've earned it through your talent, it's important to respect it and not spurn the fans that you have. This is an issue that is just... If you're following comics at all, you understand. I mean, so many pros are just... Basically, they're figuratively spitting on their fans. And then wondering, like, why are they not buying my books? Why can't we get sales? Why is my book getting canceled? Because fans want to like the people they're a fan of. When you find out the person you're a fan of is an asshole, it doesn't matter how good they are. You don't want to give them money. Bryan Hill gets this. And he goes above and beyond. I mean, I'm not expecting pros to kiss up to their fans. You don't have to like what your fans are saying. Just keep your mouth shut. Don't let them know how you feel if how you feel about them is negative. just go on, quietly do your work, collect your money, and know that these people that are bitching about you are paying you. And you can have that last laugh internally. But once you expose that last laugh and say, ha ha, you idiot, I took your money and I hate your guts, why are they going to buy your book? They don't get it. So I told myself when Bryan Hill's book came out on Detective Comics, I was going to support him. He's the kind of creator that I like, and this is the kind of person I want to like, I should say. And I really was hoping I was going to like his book. So I put my money where my mouth is. DC is doing great stuff. Like, from a publishing standpoint, you've got a primary, book like Detective Comics. It's only $2.99. And here we go. So in this particular issue, it's a single arc. I believe it's 5 parts. And this is the first part of the arc. Guest stars Black Lightning, who I understand Bryan has experience writing. So it makes sense to have the crossover. I don't know really squat about Black Lightning, other than he looks pretty cool. And so I'm kind of looking forward to learning more about who he is. And here we go. It opens up with a nice homage to the old Frank Miller style Batman, most notably like Dark Knight Returns with the talking heads. Other comics creators have copied this. Todd McFarlane did for Spawn. Just that's the first one that comes to my mind. But it's no shame in this at all. Frank Miller is a comics god, and to do an homage to him is just showing that you understand, what great writers do. I mean, you emulate them. So he talks about, we have the subject matter is a ViewTuber, who is a big Batman fan. I thought it was kind of poignant to have this in today's age. I mean, because YouTube is such a big part of our society. This guy's a big, #1 Batman fan. He's got, I think, 1.5 million subscribers they talk about, and he's on the news talking about his channel, blah, blah, blah. So he's kind of not necessarily the MacGuffin, but he's the hook for the story. And after his big feature, we got 1 week later, we see the Signal, who, I hate, what's the point of the Signal? It's like, oh, we don't have enough Robins, let's make a new Robin, except we're not going to call him Robin this time, we'll call him the Signal. Whatever. But anyway, so we got this Signal guy, he's going 1 week later, finds YouTube star, tied up, sign, follow this, presumably dead. And then a mysterious antagonist, but you're making him weaker. Who? Boom! And nice action scene here, or explosive scene, gets the ball rolling. I mean, we're on page 3, and already Bryan has set the hooks in. He's got it. What is going on? There's a new villain. Signal gets blowed up. I'm not a big fan of the art of this issue. Whatever, that's my opinion. You can decide for yourself. I do like this layout of this page. I like when artists get creative with the paneling. And in this particular case, this just works. And it's not overdone. It's not like every page is trying to just be super creative like this. It's used with reserve, and that's a good compliment. So I'm just going to kind of skip past here. Martian Manhunter makes an appearance, talks to Bruce Wayne, who's investigating what's going on. Essentially, Bruce Wayne is like, I want this guy. He wants him to work with him alone. He doesn't want the Justice League involved. So we transition over to Metropolis, where Black Lightning is interacting with a criminal who's holding a hostage. We get a flashback scene of him and his secret identity as a teacher. I didn't know Black Lightning was a teacher. That was pretty cool. It seems like everyone in DC is some sort of journalist or media person. I don't know why, but whatever. That's just my ignorance, really. We go through the scene. Not gonna keep you here, boring you. Black Lightning deals with the guy, but it doesn't go perfect. The guy ends up dying. You get another shot with Bryan using the talking heads to kind of convey a narrative. This time of the mother, but it's actually pretty heartfelt of the woman here who is now being interviewed of the dead son, who was a YouTuber, and the media is of course trying to kind of do what the media does, sensationalize things, and she believes Batman indirectly killed her son, is responsible, and they're kind of trying to push that the way that they do. But I like that he made the woman feel realistic. It just doesn't feel like a propaganda piece that a lesser writer would do. This woman, they say, "Oh, do you have anything to say to Batman? You're on the air." Nothing. I have nothing to say to him. And she just breaks down crying. She's just a person in pain. This is a very human moment. And I use the term reserved or restrained a lot as a compliment. And here, again, great writing is often showing restraint, not putting everything on the nose, forcing it down your reader's throat, understanding your readers get things. And I was impressed so far. I mean, getting to this point, I'm halfway through the comic, and I'm getting to this point. I'm like, wow, Bryan he's got this right. The pacing is just on top of it. I'm interested in who this supposed villain is. Why is he killing Batman fans? We go back to Metropolis, and we've got Black Lightning doing his thing, and then Batman, of course, always shows up in the shadows. They have a discussion between the two, and he makes him an offer, tells him that Bruce, his friend Bruce Wayne, has chartered a plane for him. He's got 6 hours if he wants to be on it or not. And he's like, damn it. And of course, he's going to take the offer. Come on. So back to Gotham City, we have the bat signal. Got some criminals being chased by the police. I know Bryan is a fan of Michael Mann films, particularly Heat, which is one of the best films I think ever made. This scene kind of reminded me of the crooks getting away from the police, or trying to escape from the police, and the chaos of everything happening. So we got Batman showing up, assisting the police in stopping these guys, and then we get the main antagonist sort of looming in the distance, I guess. We have some narrative balloons as you assume that Batman's being observed. Another interesting touch of the millennial generation here. Everyone's got cell phones and films and everything. It's interesting to see that brought into play and how that would affect the Batman universe, the whole mythology of Batman. You got this creature of darkness and mystery, and everyone on the street literally can photograph him. That was a nice little touch. Here we got Cassandra Cain, who I know very little about, but it looks like she's going to be brought into the story. Because again, Detective Comics is a team book. Batman's apparently building a team here. And we get the full view of the antagonist. Here, his whole thing is you're making Batman weaker. And so that's all this story is a setup. Introducing Black Lightning as his reason for partnering with Batman and setting up this new villain. And I don't want to say it's outstanding. I don't want to be hyperbolic about this issue, but it's good. It had me. I was kind of expecting to be slightly let down. I was expecting Bryan to be an adequate, B-grade writer that I was just wanting to like more than I actually did. And I have to say I was really impressed. I think he understands a lot of things about structuring a story, especially for the comic book format. But just in whole, he understands dialogue. It seems that he very much takes into consideration how his characters sound to the reader. I think that's something that's so many other books I read these days, you're just like, who, do these readers, have they read these characters? They do not even sound like themselves. They don't even sound like real people. They sound like they're talking on Twitter. Bryan gets it. Again, it's not perfect, but this could be the beginning chapter of a really great, fun Batman arc. And this is the kind of stuff I think most people want out of their comics. Of their mainstream Marvel/DC superhero comics. This is sort of the epitome of that. Again, that might be hyperbolic too, but it's just, there's very little to complain about. I didn't really like the art. That's kind of subjective. It's not terrible art. It's just, I guess I would kind of wish it was, Greg Capullo or someone, but whatever. I think Bryan's going to earn better art pairings in the future with this. I say, really, pick this up. If you like Batman, pick this up. If you're like me and you think, just Detective Comics is not the direction, I just don't want the whole Bat family thing, I get you. Still, pick this up. I'm so glad I picked this up. The only thing I'm bummed about is I couldn't get the sweet-ass variant cover. It was all sold out. I got to the comic book store on Thursday this week. Oh well, doesn't matter. The interior, great. Thumbs up. Thank you, Bryan Hill, for giving me a great comic that I thoroughly enjoyed. Thank you for being a pro, that I can be proud to enjoy your work and push your work to other people. This is how the industry should work. I want more people, more pros to be like Bryan, and I want everyone else to support this type of work. This is what we want more of. Move the needle. Buy these books. Share, spread word of mouth, and tell people this is what you should be reading. Don't keep reading that crap that you have been buying forever because that's what you do. Be open-minded. Switch. Drop that Marvel crap that is just you've been buying for the past 20 years. Try some DC. You won't be sorry. I hope this was informative. I'm sorry that this ran along. I feel very strongly about this particular book, and I had something to say. I hope I didn't bore you and ramble on too much. I hope you will check this out. If you did check the book out, please say something in the comments. I really like to hear from the handful of subscribers that I have what you have to say. I like this to be a dialogue. And my opinion's not always the right one, and I think everyone's opinion's valid. So again, thanks for watching. I hope you'll come back. Thanks.